Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast with me, and today I've got Heli. How you doing, mate?
I'm great. I think it's my first blue podcast in the studio, like just an actual blue podcast, not a guest, a Santa.
Yes, this is our second blue podcast back in the studio, and I'm not gonna lie, we've got a very, very special guest. Today we have a professional football freestyler, Sam Madden. How you doing, mate?
Very good. Thanks for having me down.
That's all right. I don't know if you guys can tell from the accent. It's from Belfast. We got very lucky to get you in today. I mean, it's pure chance by text.
Yeah.
I just DM'd you and you were like, oh, I'm actually in London.
I'm quite bad at stories. I never keep people up to date. But yeah, London.
Fair enough. So, obviously, you are a freestyler. Do you want to tell our audience a bit about what it is you do with that?
Yeah, so when I was 19, I started to get into fancy football tricks. I'd always been into the skillful side of football, but just at a certain point, I started getting better at the tricks, and I realised, like, if you practice for about 20 minutes per day, or as little as that, you can get a lot better at football skills. Then I started to search for the freestylers, and here we are. A lot of practice later, now I can do pretty well at it.
Well, now I guess 3 times Irish world champion. Don't watch up Irish
I'll
champion.
take word now. 3-time Irish champion.
Yes.
Yeah,
You going for the world? You going for world in UK soon?
Yeah, I jump in. Like, there's a world championships that happens every year in Prague. So there's like 500 freestylers from all over the world.
500.
They just arrive to the one destination for an open championship.
Blimey.
So everybody just does the qualifiers, does as best as they can. I finished in the top 100 last year, which is a pretty good achievement, but I did flop a little bit. So we go again this year.
Top 100 in the world's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
You're better than billions. Technically, you're better than billions.
Well, there you go, yeah.
So, I think most of us are going to be a bit novices of how someone becomes a pro freestyler. So, do you want to take us through that kind of journey of how you got to the point of becoming a professional freestyler?
My backstory is a little bit different to most of the football freestylers you hear from are like, they were into football and then they watch videos of like Ronaldinho and stuff. They see the tricks, they want to try it, and then they just improve from there. For me, I used to do football coaching in holiday camps.
Okay.
So I was working in Spain, in the island of Menorca. We did like a holiday village. So I was like teaching kids just general football, just like football sessions in the morning. And every 2 weeks, the entertainment team kind of needed a break. So they put on a talent show. So like every 2 weeks, there was a talent show for the staff. So all of us that were working there had to like come up with stuff. And the guy says, Sam, we're struggling for acts, like we need some more. And they could see that I could do like an around the world trick. I could balance a ball in my head. And they were like, can you get up there and do football tricks? And I was like, not really, but I can try. And from there, I realized that the show had to be good. The first time I jumped up there, I really flopped. It was bad. It was like, I can do a couple fancy flick ups and you think you're good. But when you're on stage in front of loads of people, it's so different. And I realized like I had to fill up like a 2 or 3 minute show. So I started practicing every single week and trying to get a little routine together. And from there, I was just like, I was improving so fast and it was so enjoyable that I just kept training and training. And after about like 3 or 4 years, I could do a really solid show. I could maybe compete as well. So from there, I've always had it in my mind that I could maybe make a living off it. And I'm finally doing that for the last like 2-3 years. So.
I saw one of your videos on Instagram. It was you doing one of your routines, and for some, it really reminded me a lot of breakdancing, like just dancing in general. So
yeah.
For me, freestyling in general is just like it's dancing with a ball, isn't it? That's how I see it anyway. So like, is that a potential route you want to go down after your freestyling days?
That would be cool, but I don't know if I have the athletic ability for that. But there is definitely a connection there. There's a lot of like friendships, like between the breakdance community and the freestyle football community. They do share ideas and stuff, and some of the guys that do freestyle are also very good at breakdancing.
No, makes sense.
Well, I mean that makes sense to be fair.
Sense,
yeah.
It's like, I guess freestyling is the dancing of football. And would you say it correlates to actually playing football, or do you think you're better now? No.
Unfortunately not. I get this question a lot. They're like,
yeah.
Do you not play for a team and stuff? And you would just assume that the skills translate, but they absolutely do not.
No.
The funny thing about whenever I started training, when I was away in Spain, we had the big football pitch and we would play the adults football. And it was noticeable from like it was a 6-month contract. So at the start, I was better at shooting than at the end because I've been practicing tricks instead. So it's kind of like the skill set.
Yeah.
Like, just because I can balance the ball in my head or like do a handstand with it, it doesn't mean you're training necessarily like passing, shooting, dribbling. So it depends what you practice. You actually get worse at football if you train freestyle in some way.
Have you ever tried any of these skills in a Sunday league match and you just got crunched?
No, and I'm sure it would get crunched as well. I don't really play at home. I kind of fear it almost, to go back into 11-a-side, because I've thought about that before too. I'm like, I'd love to play football again. But any time that I go and I see those games in the park, like genuine adults playing football, there's so much aggression.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's so much like
Yeah.
I would get I would get ruined. Imagine
That's-
if I got
that's
injured, I
culture.
can't work then. So that's
Mm.
part of it as well. But I do whip out some skills in like 5-a-side, 7-a-side. There's some fancy ones that people haven't seen before, and then that's
Right,
a good moment.
I've seen you do panners, obviously.
Yeah,
Does that, I guess, yeah, in 5-a-side or 6-a-side or 7-a-side, that probably correlates a lot easier.
yeah. Yeah, it's more footwork and fast
Yeah.
feet and stuff. But I'm not really a pro at the panna, but I've got a couple of moves, so I can try that.
I'd say do a try 'em on me, but I'd probably get. I got megged on Sunday anyway, so which led to a goal in my Sunday league. So I got megged on the halfway line, and then they eventually scored. It's definitely not my fault. What are the like mental and physical struggles that come with being a freestyler? Are there any? And if so, what have you experienced?
It's a good question. Physically, I used to go street performing.
Okay.
I used to do some busking. So whenever I was out in the street, it's kind of nerve-wracking when you first do it. It was like you turn up on the street, the busy high street. I did it in like Newcastle, Manchester, Oxford was quite a good spot for it, Dublin. But you pull up, you have like a little bin or a bucket or something, you put it out, and then you just like prepare your street show. But it's a grind. So like physically, after like 3 hours of performing, I used to do like, you know, a neck flick where you like flick the ball up, you know, off your neck. I would do that so many times in a day that the next day I'd have a really like bad neck, like bad back. So a lot of the sport itself is repetition. So you end up like, if you're training certain things, it's like sore legs, you know, sore hamstrings, sore neck. But it's I think since I'm still pretty young, it hasn't affected me that badly. Actually, my friend came up with a theory with freestyle football, because you know the way like a lot of us can do soul juggles.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of lay back on our back and be kicking the ball up with the bottom of our feet, which is a really cool move. But when you practice that quite a lot, you genuinely get like a big bruise in the middle of your back.
Because there's
So-
no protection, is there? Just lying on the cold concrete floor.
Yeah.
wooden floor.
It's usually on concrete as well. I actually learned that by lying on my bed and doing it, because it was less of a struggle.
Oh, less painful, yeah.
Yeah. But genuinely, any freestyler you see, say if they pulled up their shirt, there's likely a bruise on their back. So I
Oh.
feel like there could be long-term consequences that we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, freestyling's it's quite a new thing
Yeah.
compared to traditional football. I mean, back in the day, it was 2-foot challenges to the waist and things like that. Now it's a bit more. I don't know. I mean, I saw in one of your questions you wanted to talk about how
Yeah,
football's not necessarily. It's becoming much more technical, and we're losing a bit of that flair in football.
Yeah, like so do you know how back in the day you got like your R9s, your Ronaldinhos, like they'll like take the mick out defenders. Nowadays you got like people like Grealish you rather pass back. Like they'll ever rarely like take on a man or like do something. So do you think the entertainment aspect of football nowadays in general has gone down because like maybe like they're too tactfully minded?
Yeah, I would argue yes, and I think it's partially to do with the athleticism and fitness of these players. It seems to be a better attribute that your team is fitter, stronger, can run for longer, works as a team. Michael Owen made the argument recently. He was like, the players technically were better in my day. That's what he said. And I couldn't. It's hard to argue with it whenever you look at the highlights and clips and stuff. It's like maybe in terms of passing and shooting and stuff, the players are better now, just with a natural progression. But I feel like you don't see many skills, do you?
Yeah,
So-
but I watch football for entertainment, and like
Yeah.
when I watch, the closest thing I've probably seen to that now is probably Trossard. that's probably the closest I've seen in recent time. Trossard and Jesus, but yeah, I feel like teams are too worried about breaking their shape or like going against their manager's tactics, and like they're throwing entertainment out the window, which is like fair enough because they want to win.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the fans, I feel like just whip out a rainbow flick, go on.
That's it, because the very technical stuff is seen as a risk. So yeah, you have a point there.
Yeah, just do something fun, you know what I mean?
Speaking of something fun, are there any particular highlights in your career so far in freestyling that kind of jump out to you?
Pick myself up.
Yeah.
No, the Irish Championships is like
Yeah.
a big deal to me, and it's kind of the one that I focus on every year. Kind of like, you know, going to the World Championship, it's more like party time. It's more like you see all the freestylers that you've seen online, and almost watching the competition is a lot more fun than competing in
So
it.
it's like a convention, pretty much.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of them things,
It is like that. It is. Yeah. A load of freestyle geeks just
Yeah.
just arrive on the scene, and we all love it. But the Irish Championship is the one where I'm kind of like, right, I could win this, and so you turn up with your game head on, and it's all focused, and it's all like, I actually pretty much organised the event as well. So I put together like, bring in the judging panel, organise accommodation for people and stuff like that. So it's a real headache, and it's really, really stressful. So to come out on top the last couple of times has been really, really I've been so grateful for it. I feel like if I lost them, I'd be so gutted. Like such a waste.
Especially as you're the one kind of basically getting it together as well.
Yeah, it's all that work.
Were there any sore losers when like you won? Like, oh, he bought the judges. Oh, I paid him off. Have you got any allegations about that yet?
I've had that. I was like, oh, you organised it and you won? Oh, interesting. No, but they're all
on the
good
payroll.
sports. It's all been good. Yeah.
Is the community pretty not good, like good in the freestyle community?
Very good.
Everyone's kind of friends with everyone.
Yeah. It's such a niche thing that I feel like whenever you meet another football freestyler, obviously like from watching the videos and stuff, we all know the same people. We all can talk about the same things, and it's things that are so specific and niche that you can't really talk to anybody else about them. So it's like immediate friendships anywhere you go. Like in England, I'll be meeting guys. The guy I travelled here with is a freestyler, and we're only friends through that. So it's really, it's brilliant.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't say that our TikTok community is the same, but
it's a bunch. It's very interesting going through our TikTok comments.
yeah,
it's very like funny. It's very Jekyll and Hyde. One TikTok's like really funny comments, but the next one's just depressing to look at.
And is it other TikTokers or is it?
No,
just
the people who watch.
Just our very loyal
But
and happy fans.
the reason I say that because I want to know if what kind of feedback do you get from your videos? Because obviously, I'm sure social media has helped your career, getting your kind of freestyle out there. What kind of feedback have you had from online? Because obviously, sometimes it can be really positive, sometimes it can be really negative.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. I think like all I'm doing is cool tricks.
Yeah.
My personality isn't really out there to a certain point, you know. Like,
Well, now you're at risk now.
I know, God, I'm in trouble. No,
Wow.
it's just kind of nice because all I'm doing in my videos is like some fancy trick, and people are like, "That's cool." And I've had some. It's mostly on Facebook, you know, like old people who are a bit maybe bitter or so, just having a bad day. If I, especially when I put out like an advertisement, I used to advertise a little bit on Facebook, and it would bring me some more work in.
Okay.
So if I would put out an advert of me doing a show for the kids and stuff, like some of the comments, the most common negative comment with freestylers is like, "Oh, can't do that on the pitch," and it's kind of like, yes, I don't want to. Like I have no interest in doing this on a football pitch.
Yeah.
I'm like on my back doing juggles. It's like,
What a time
Yeah,
wasting,
yeah.
just on your back juggling.
they're always like in an aggressive manner. They're like, "What use is that?" It's like
What's
different.
happened to our sport?
Yeah, it's like no, mate, it's different. It's that's the most common one.
Yeah.
Nothing very venomous, you know.
Do you think social media has helped freestyling kind of grow a lot?
Yeah, I think it's the main reason it exists.
Jeremy Lynch, mate.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lynch, mate.
Yeah, sure. Village. Is there anyone in the freestyling community that you think might actually be maybe putting a negative light on it, like we say with
No.
Jeremy Lynch?
Yeah, well, Jeremy Lynch and Billy Wingrove as the F2
Yeah.
made freestyle bigger,
Yes.
undoubtedly. But the argument, there's a lot of guys in the freestyle football world have the argument of like the F2 have negatively impacted because they're not showcasing real freestyle.
Okay.
So it would seem, because it's all trick shots and
Yeah.
stuff. So they do stuff that builds the bigger audience. They do stuff that's like, let me hit the crossbar, let me shoot with these guys, and do a little trick and then something else. But they don't really showcase hardcore, difficult freestyle.
Okay.
So the reality is, there was lots of other better football freestylers, even in the UK. John Farnworth, Andrew Henderson, like big names in the freestyle world, but not necessarily elsewhere. Much better football freestylers than the F2. And maybe the F2 are the ones that get the work in the audience and stuff. But it's kind of credit to them because they related it more to football and built the bigger audience. But the argument is that certainly the F2 could have done more. They could have bigged up the freestyle scene. They could have showcased, for example, the World Championships that we go to every
Could
year.
have hosted them, like.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
something like that. Just show you're involved and you're invested in the freestyle.
Yes, so they haven't
world, something
invested
like
in
that, yeah.
freestyle properly. They've just kind of done it for themselves. But each to their own. I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the best of both worlds out of it from what they did, football and freestyle fans. So.
Yeah.
Although Jeremy Lynch is more of a TikToker now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing skits on TikTok now.
Yeah.
With the American LA lot. Yeah.
It's such a weird like move in trajectory. Obviously, a lot of people.
tries to humble them and send them to America.
Yeah, the Stephen Try stuff didn't go very well for him, did it? I mean, his Batman
His
video?
Batman music video. That was.
Yeah.
He is quite an enemy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just a cringe fest. But
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah, well, clip that.
I know.
Let's get back to the freestyling. How do you kind of stay current with it? Because I'm sure there is a possibility of basically doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're posting the same skill again and again and again, people might notice that. how do you get around that? Because that can't be easy. Because I'm sure there's not an infinite number of skills that you can do, or is there?
Yeah. Well, I would argue there is, but the general public will not see the difference.
Okay.
So there's a lot of that goes on. It's like, mate, you just do the same thing every time, and it's like there's little intricate details that the guys in the freestyle world will notice, but not necessarily the general public. I think I fell off on social media, to be honest with you.
Really?
Like, my Instagram following used to grow quite well and stuff, and maybe because freestyle was a bit more new.
I mean, over 50k is not bad.
No, it's good.
Also could just be patches, you know what I mean? Like maybe right now it's on the slow end, but give it like a couple of weeks or months.
It would be like the views at the minute mine are down a bit. Maybe they'll go back up. But
Yeah.
Who knows? But staying current, I'm not very good with social media, to be honest. I'd maybe ask some of the other freestyle guys. There's some of them that do really well. Yeah, it's a full-time job. It's a real grind. That's why I've gone more towards, like, I've done another page where I'm doing like little football quizzes and things like that.
Okay.
It's growing rapidly. But the freestyle, it's not like a side project. It's my full-time job. Like, it's the one.
It's the passion.
But in terms of social media content, it just doesn't do quite as well as certain other things. It still does well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you actually have freestyling as a lifestyle? Because I'm sure a lot of people go, oh, you're just flicking a ball here and there, and how do you get paid for doing that?
Yeah.
So
it's just kind of I've done my best to kind of become the guy, especially in a local sense, and I get hired by city councils for events. There's little adverts and stuff that I'll do, social media campaigns. So there's a lot of brands and stuff. Like, freestyle football's pretty big, and they think it's a pretty cool thing to work with. So lucky enough, I just managed to get enough work. A lot of the time I fill up my weekends and stuff doing kids' birthday parties. You know, if there's nothing else on,
Really?
like, yeah, I'll just turn up at the party, put on a little show, and teach some tricks and stuff. So
Decent little pay to that.
there's all sorts of different jobs to go down with it. So
What's the biggest job or deal you've ever gotten?
I went to the World Cup.
I
I
saw
was flown over
2022.
there. Yeah. So it was basically with FIFA through an agency, and they got us performing at the stadiums, not on the pitch, but like when you got to the stadium, there was a little.
Like the outside.
How do I describe this? Like a little booth, like an area for entertainment, food and drinks and stuff. And these guys were turning up to the stadiums and paying 500 quid to go in to this little venue where we were doing entertainment, and they were just going and getting some food and drinks like 2 hours before kickoff.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like.
Some people have money.
Yeah.
Some people have money.
And I was kind of like, what? There was no need for it.
No.
they just decided.
I mean, you got to be taken to the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
so how many games do you get to go see? Or
we actually ended up not getting into the games. There was the
Really?
odd occasion where maybe they were like, oh, this one's not sold out. And a few of my friends who were doing the freestyling as well, they got thrown in to see the start of a game or whatever.
yeah.
But no, I didn't get to see any games.
Oh.
So after it, as soon as kickoff, guys, you just pack up your things and go. Is that
Yeah,
it?
that was
Really?
it. That's how it worked, yeah.
Oh, that's must
Yeah.
feel so
You get to
strange.
interact with the fans and stuff, and it was great, and it
Yeah.
was good fun. But like, as for seeing the games, I felt like, we could have done a bit better there.
Mm.
You know, they could have got some tickets, but no.
How was Qatar?
Very good.
Yeah.
I had real positive reviews because there was a lot of negative media about them, and so like people were. I was thinking I was going to turn up there and I'd be on my toes and I'd just be like, oh god, I hope I don't break any rules and stuff like that. But realistically, it was very open. Felt very welcoming. Everybody did their job well, and I was dead impressed. Infrastructure and everything worked well. It looked beautiful as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say it passed the eye test.
Definitely.
The stadiums and
Yeah.
obviously we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but yeah, I'm jealous.
But they have to be on their best behaviour in it, because like
Yeah.
they're hosting the event, and like if they get bad eyes on it, then that's a FIFA problem. So everyone there has to
Yeah.
be on their best behaviour.
I felt that
surely.
way for sure. And there was like some of the South Americans, like the Brazilian women, walking around with their low cut tops and little shorts. And I was like, this would never happen during the year.
No.
Like,
No.
Yeah, so as soon as that final whistle went in the World Cup final,
yeah.
gone, arrested.
So I felt like you could get away with it, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you drink? Because I was going to say, what was
I
the
do, yeah.
drinking rules there for you?
It was like you could drink in hotels.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of hotels where they would have bars in the venue, but it wouldn't be like here where you're walking down the street and there's bars on the sides of it. There was no such thing as that. You'd have to be in a hotel. You go to the bar there, and very accessible, to be fair. Like, it was easy. If you wanted to go and get a drink, it was no problem. But yeah, apparently if you were intoxicated, this is what we were told. If you were intoxicated, or they could tell that you were a little bit drunk or something, that you would be arrested.
Really?
That's
But I
terrifying.
never witnessed that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you've had a few. You're like, oh no.
you're like the tiniest bit tipsy. You trip on something once.
Police officer.
Handcuffs
Yeah.
in. Handcuffs in. Go on.
It was very expensive though.
Oh yeah.
I think for like a little bottle of beer, it was like the equivalent of £12, £15.
Oh.
Yeah, per go.
God. Actually, now I'm not jealous.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that as well is because fitness in freestyling. I want to know. Obviously, you say you can drink. I'm guessing, whereas with professional footballers, definitely can't drink as much as others.
You
Do you have to stay quite fit, or? Oh no, I know they. I mean, we just seen Rashford recently. Yeah.
Some of them do it quietly.
Yeah.
You know. But
Jack Grealish, Kyle Walker.
no, it's not optimal. It's
No.
not optimal to drink. And to be a football freestyler, there is a certain amount of endurance and athleticism, and people are doing handstands and backflips and stuff.
Yeah.
Like these guys are athletes, a lot of them.
Do you
I
do
wouldn't count
backflips?
myself in that, but no, I don't.
Give a trampoline out.
Yeah, handstands yes, backflips no.
Okay.
But it all depends on your own approach.
Mm.
There's more freedom in freestyle. There's less competition than in football. And everybody wants to be a footballer,
Yeah.
so you have to be the ultimate athlete. It's like there's only a certain amount of football freestylers. So at this stage, I'm getting away with it, I guess. So I can just eat what I want, drink what I want, and that's sort of my approach. I'm kind of chilled out about it. But you do see the guys who are operating at the very top, the world champions and stuff. They are usually pretty strict with their regime, diet, training. Some of these guys will be training 4 hours a day.
Don't think they sacrifice the enjoyment that day. It sucks out with joy, don't you think?
Depends what you like, you know.
Yeah,
If you like
yeah.
drinking, you're gonna lose out on that.
But like just the whole aspect of taking it super serious, like you have to win.
Yeah.
Like then like you just see like the freestylers who like just do the tricks.
Mhm.
Like sort of you like make your videos, go do your tricks, have a bit of fun, have a laugh, have a drink.
Mhm.
So do you reckon like the ones who take it proper seriously, like the world champions, they're like, do you reckon they like not enjoy it nearly as much as you do?
It depends what level they get to.
Mm.
I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell because there are certain people who have really sacrificed, especially in the last couple of years, and I've seen them win world championships, and that was their life goal. So it must be so worth it.
Given the payoff, yeah.
I mean, there's always that risk though. Once you've hit the top,
Yeah.
top.
Now what?
Now what?
Yeah.
I know, and they're always young as well.
Yeah.
There was a couple of the world champions have been 18 years old.
Bloody hell.
And, like just because it's a new sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like imagine the peak being 18. Well, not the peak, but
That's
imagine,
that's the
day
definition
of
of
my
peaking
life,
at high
isn't it?
school.
yeah, exactly. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And so, do you have kind of any tips for people that want to get into the sport, like younger generation? Obviously, you were saying that actually, it seems like a lot of the world champions are actually quite young.
Yeah.
So, do you have any kind of advice for people that want to get into it?
Yeah, the fact that it's kind of easier than you think. A lot of people, they'll look at freestyle football and it's almost kind of overwhelming at times if you see somebody who's really good at their craft and perfected routines and stuff. It's kind of overwhelming to the point where you're like, oh, I could never do that. And sometimes that's the approach from the young ones and the kids and stuff. When I go into the workshops and I do like a full routine and doing these crazy tricks and they're like, how on earth am I supposed to do that? It's like, you're not, it takes time. So my approach is like, if you were to practice 10 minutes a day and just devote yourself to that and see what you can do, you'd be so shocked at how quickly you can improve. So I just tell people to do that. It's like literally all you need is a football and you just go and start.
Fair enough. And also, I've seen that you did the biggest freestyle coaching event ever, if I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
mistaken. How does that come about?
It was a proper Guinness World Record application.
Okay.
So we're
Alright.
awaiting the results. You know, like in our head, we've done it. Like, we did it. We had the ticker. We were ticking the number of people in. 310 kids
Okay.
took part in a freestyle football session, and I was just standing on like a stage at the front. The kids took over a whole big astro pitch, and the idea was just to teach them for 30 minutes and just like, right, do this trick, you know. And I did a couple of shows in between and stuff. And actually, just before we started, we found that the microphone didn't reach.
Oh.
So I was just, right, next one. Just like screaming at them. Like, this is how you do the trick. And the ones at the back couldn't hear, but we all had a laugh and tried
Yeah.
it. So
Is this a yearly or like monthly thing, or was that just a one-time?
no,
occasion?
one-off event. It's in a little rough patch of Dublin called Ballymun. I think it has like almost a sketchy reputation. Anytime I've been down, it's been like nice, but it's like there's a bit less money there, you know, and sometimes they'll get funding just to do like good fun events and just try and lift the spirits and get something to do for the community. So yeah, it's really good.
So would you be interested in doing like that as like a monthly or like bi-yearly thing?
No, it's kind of tough. So no.
Really?
No, but yeah, of course.
Get the world record.
Get some world records.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Just try and keep it up in it and up in
just
it and
increase
up.
about one. Just increase about one every year.
It's an adventure, you know. I like a challenge, so yeah.
So, How did you get to the point where you could teach? Because I'm sure that a lot of people can say it's really easy to do. Sometimes it's harder to teach.
Yeah, it can be. I have a background in football coaching, luckily.
Yep.
So that really helped, like whenever I was going into a workshop, I can imagine if you were just doing the football freestyling and then you turned up and you had to teach a group of kids and you weren't used to dealing with children or whatever, you'd be kind of like nervous or taken aback. But I was immediately in my comfort zone, and it's just teaching little step-by-steps and stuff. And if anybody's looking to try freestyle football, there's always tutorials online.
Yeah.
So those help as well.
Have you got any tutorials yourself?
I have a couple, yeah.
Yeah?
For maybe the harder tricks, yeah.
What is your hardest trick?
Oh, they all have weird names as well.
Well, let's move the
I
table.
can do a handstand catch, kick the ball up and up on my hands, catch it between the legs. That's a
Okay.
pretty cool one, a pretty flashy one.
I feel like I'd fall on my face if I tried that.
Yeah.
Also, you don't like mistime the catch as well. Otherwise,
Oh,
Yeah.
has that happened?
It's like a risky one because you kind of do it blind as well.
Yeah.
You kind of get so used to kicking it up, and you just have to sort of predict where it's landing.
Yeah.
And when you get used to it enough, you can then do it.
Was there a lot of painful moments practicing that?
Yeah, it just took forever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you say painful moments, the
Yeah.
ball can literally come between your legs.
Yeah,
Straight
exactly.
inside. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what
it's
we're
happened
saying.
a couple
Yeah.
of times, yeah, big
Oh.
time. It can happen. It's happened like 3 times to me.
No.
Start kicking the ball hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, my other best tricks are like I'm quite a specialist in 360 tricks, so like spinning around while doing say like a double around the world, but you like spin in between.
Okay.
Those look kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're difficult.
Bit better than Antti then.
Yeah.
Get more
I can do that
consistent
one.
too,
Right. So you are also an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
How do you think you're going to do this season?
It's a good question because see, like 3 weeks ago, there was 2 league defeats in a row, and I thought, here we're on for this. Like
Top of Christmas as well.
yeah, this could be a proper.
Imagine
run at
being
the
top
league.
of Christmas 2 years in a row and not
Imagine
winning
being a
it.
mid-table club. That's crazy.
Like
Yeah,
I know City
imagine winning a
seemed to
trophy.
turn it on at the end, but
Yeah.
they weren't at it. It was the same as last year, probably. Like I still thought City were going to win, but Arsenal have as good a chance. Now I'm thinking Liverpool. I suppose it changes every other week, but I'm thinking Liverpool might do it now.
Well, Klopp leaving, announcing that's like another thing.
I think that's
my
really
fault.
helped them.
you
And
just-
they've paid off the refs as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
sold. I'm not salty at all.
Salty about it.
I'm not salty at all.
Gallagher just needs to stop diving, man. It's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing sport, really. I think about it.
I'm not gonna bite.
But no, Arsenal, I say third. I think third. I think
Third place makes sense, yeah.
last year was a good season for us, but I don't think we're proper title contenders, especially like a main number 9. I've always said this: Jesus is a winger. I think Jesus is a pure winger, in my opinion.
But who's he start instead of?
I rate him over Martinelli and Trossard.
Really?
I think Jesus is better than both of them. But
if you could only start one, Jesus or Martinelli, you would start.
Jesus.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
100%.
I don't think you agree.
Depends on form. I don't know.
I think
But-
Martinelli's like one of them late, like last 10 minutes against achy legs.
When he comes on as a sub, he is class.
And yet he just takes the game. But Jesus is more of a just like a. Yeah, just let him have his fun. Put him on the wing, let him have his fun. But we'll let a real number 9 get in the box.
What about Champions League though?
Champions League.
Arsenal have that easy.
To be fair, our route doesn't look awful. It does not look awful, to be honest with you. All
You
you
guys
gotta
are not winning a European trophy.
you never say never, man.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
when
never.
Mohamed El Neni lifts the Champions League trophy, that's gonna be one of the best days, my best moments of my life.
What a guy.
Nah, because we're the only team in London to win a European Cup, and I want that to stay as that.
I have a feeling it might.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Yeah,
as well.
true. Yeah.
Who's your favourite player right now for? And it can't be Saka for Arsenal.
Ooh, you took it from me. I really like Odegaard.
Okay.
The funny thing about that was I didn't want him to sign for Arsenal.
Really?
After the first year, the loan deal, I was so unimpressed by him. I thought he took too many touches. I thought he took too long on the ball. And I was just like, I was literally like, get this guy out of the team. I thought Smith Rowe's the man. Throw him in.
Well, yeah.
But-
What's been happening with Smith Rowe?
Injury.
Lately,
Then-
it's all injuries. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
then
He's only
now-
back, so.
Yeah, but that Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe, 2021. Oh my god, I fell in love with the club again. Genuinely.
Free flowing, fast football.
32 Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, when he had 32 on his back, honestly it changed my life, man. It changed my life.
He's the man.
Kieran Tierney in the winter as well. Changed me. Moved me.
player.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Like I always liked Tierney better than Zinchenko as well.
100%.
But they just play a different way.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
But I'm happy to say I was so wrong about Odegaard. It's one of those evidence pieces where you're like, yeah, Arteta knows better than me.
Yeah.
Let's just let him do it.
Yeah,
you know?
he is the manager after all. So
Yeah.
I mean, and Ed, you got respect as you know. He's done quite. Do you mind a backlash and like shit you got from like past signings and like departures. And now he's pulled through with some great signings recently.
Does that include Kai Havertz?
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah,
Is he?
No.
Thanks for the 65 million, guys.
He's on trial period.
Yeah, you paid 25 million more than we got for Palmer.
Yeah, that's rough. That
I
is
would have
rough.
took Palmer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would tip Palmer.
Now you mention it, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's really kind of weird from a Chelsea standpoint. The front three that won us the Champions League era, United, Arsenal, and Spurs, probably apart from Liverpool, probably our three biggest rivals.
Yeah.
It just feels very strange as a Chelsea fan.
And they were big players too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've clearly fallen off a lot though because they've joined those three teams. But
And all three of them are above you in the league.
Chelsea
yeah,
have
but
fallen off
they
a
still
lot.
haven't won any trophies
Relegation
recently.
battle
So.
coming soon, mate.
Alright, can I just say before the Liverpool game, everyone was saying how good form we were. It was 5-6 games wins in a row at home. Just Klopp's decision to announce his retirement means that all the refs that are bald are going to give him free stuff.
Do you reckon that's actually a thing? Like when someone hires the club and announces they leave, do you reckon that actually like just makes the players like want to?
Yes.
Do you reckon that's actually a thing? Where,
Yeah.
like,
I think since they love him so much, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be fighting for him.
yeah, I know they'll be fighting for him, of course, but do you actually believe like? Basically, I'm asking, do you believe in like fairy tale endings in football? Do you actually believe in that?
No.
It's I'd say it's more of a we've got a Leicester fan over there who I'm sure would say that.
I mean, because fucking after Nelson's goal against Bournemouth last season, I was like, I think that's the saddest part about us not winning the league. He done that for nothing. The best, the best.
The
player last
memories that
season,
are
yeah.
ruined. Arsenal have done that a lot. Do you remember the Danny Welbeck
Oh
goal
my
against Leicester?
God. No, I read this. This might be fake, but I read this crazy stat on Twitter, so reliable source. If Giroud scored his big chances, we would have won the league that season.
Oh, of course.
Do you know the big chance missed stats? If Giroud scored all of them, we would have won the league that season. So Giroud,
I'd say he's one of the goats though. I love Giroud. The
on
goals he scored.
his day, he's a different breed.
But
of striker.
I also think that Giroud made players around him better, if that makes sense. Like if you remember the Sarri season when it was Emerson,
right.
Loftus-Cheek,
When you
Hazard.
beat us in fucking
Yeah, I'm just
Hazard,
rubbing that in a bit,
yeah.
and then Giroud up top. Those two together were unbelievable.
It was funny. I remember seeing when Giroud first signed for Chelsea. It was like his first game or second game or something, and Hazard was just pinging it off
Yeah.
Giroud. 1-2 round the corner, scoring a goal.
Yeah,
And it was like, for years, Arsenal had no idea. And like Hazard worked out how to use Giroud like that.
instantly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then we were just relying on Sanchez and Ozil just to pull something out their arse and just
Mm.
do something.
That's what
Also,
happened.
Salah or Hazard?
Who's a better player?
Yeah.
Overall, oh my god, I don't know. I always argued Hazard, but
Yeah.
I think Salah's got even better this season. You know, with the assists and the outside of the
Yeah.
passes and
That
just
outside the
proper wing play as
yeah.
well. Like, I think he's improved so much.
I think that realistically you can't answer that question.
Really?
Yeah. Well, no, as in like as
That's
in
very safe.
He just doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to.
no. There's a clip from one of our podcasts
Yeah, I
where we did
remember,
actually
yeah.
talk about who was better, and we both said Hazard.
It's a good argument.
But looking at it, they were both better at different things. They're completely different players.
Okay, fine. Who would you rather have in your team?
Hazard on a one game basis. Hazard.
I like watching Hazard better. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Hazard's the more entertaining player. I get
Yeah.
that, but I feel like ever since Salah joined Liverpool, he's been the best player.
But
in the Premier League.
I'd also say in terms of if the rest of this team absolutely stinks, Hazard
Then,
probably wins
yeah.
the game for
No,
you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Because I mean, you look at Chelsea over the years, the 7-year period. There was some rough times in terms of how like the actual level of our players, and he would just put out the bag sometimes.
Retirement Higuain, that era.
Oh my god, that was rough.
Yeah, Higuain.
That's so rough.
I forgot.
Falcao as well.
Falcao, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
god.
You
Yeah,
just signed a lot of like,
Yeah.
you know, them like 83, 84 rated players who like get caught out in real life.
Yeah, pretty much. But
That's your side.
I remember when Higuain came in as well, and he scored really like in the first couple games, and everyone was like, "Oh, maybe he's back." Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want to ask you: is there one real? Obviously, the transfer window has just ended, but is there one realistic signing for Arsenal in the summer that you really want?
Ooh. Everybody's banging on about Ivan Toney. It's like, get the striker in. He's the one that seems to be available. Like, literally saying, I could do with a move here. I want to join a big club. But it's kind of, how good is he? You know, because like
It's pretty
I feel
good.
like he is. I really like him. I think he probably is a better striker than Jesus. But how much of an upgrade is that? You got to pay 100 mil to bring in Ivan Toney. I'm not so sure. But I think a striker is the answer. I think it's like
of course.
you want a goal machine, don't you?
And
I think they're pretty strong in all areas.
a left back who can defend.
Yeah.
Or no, you don't even have to sign anyone. Just put Kieran Tierney there. He can defend.
Yeah.
I swear you sold him, no?
Yeah.
No, he loaned them out.
Loaned him?
Loaned them to Sociedad, yeah. But to be fair, I think with Ivan Toney's price tag, I reckon probably a more suitable signing would either be that Gyökeres from Sporting or Dominic Solanke. I like him. I like Solanke.
Yeah. Again, it's like, is it the upgrade? Is it that big an
But
upgrade?
I don't think the price tag will be anywhere near as much as for Toney.
True.
So
Yeah.
I think Solanke would be a good
I
signing.
think
And then you get
Solanke's
players
about
who-
to have one of the best seasons he's ever had.
Yeah.
And his price tag is just going to go.
And
And he
right
might
up.
be a Patrick Bamford. He
Yeah,
might
these
just-
one season wonder things.
Yeah. And also, there's going to be a lot of clubs in for him. Bournemouth are going to probably stay up. But when you've got a
Probably.
player who scored that many goals, there is zero chance that one of the top sides doesn't try and get him. I think Villa might go for him just for a backup for Watkins, because Watkins is overplayed, and I think that he is at some point going to get a serious injury. Because he's very fast, he's very direct, Watkins, and he's basically played every game. He's bound to get an injury at some point, no?
Yeah, no.
Like, let's be honest.
He's
no?
gonna get work to the ground.
Yeah, and that's why I think for Villa having like a Solanke backup would be perfect for them.
But with the Arsenal thing, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's our answer by any means, but Eddie Nketiah has everything but finishing. He has everything but a natural finish. If Nketiah could finish, he's our
The only
answer.
thing he could do was finish.
No, well,
Nketiah?
it's just the way he holds.
I don't
off
think
the
he had
ball.
anything, to be honest.
No, it's just the way he holds off the ball and like his strength and his movement. I think that's brilliant. It's just like when he's in them positions, he just like he gets the shot off, which is good. But it's just the actually the shot is.
I don't know. I think he finishes quite well.
I
thought
thought he finished
if
alright,
Gabriel
to be fair.
Jesus and Nketiah did like a Dragon Ball Z fusion.
Yeah.
I think you'd have you'd have
Oh
a
yeah, I
really
think you'd have
player.
pretty good player then. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That Eddie Nketiah confuses me because he'll have some games where he is like getting braces, playing unbelievably
He's the
well.
top goal scorer in the league.
Is he?
Yeah, with 5 goals.
I
I think.
didn't
Oh,
know
with
that.
5 goals.
I
right.
think well he was like a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if he still is, but
But I mean, yeah, your front three this season's not been.
Not
I
bad.
know Saka's actually got more points at this point in the season on FPL than last season,
FPL is that how
But-
we're rating?
FPL player, so
but-
I'll do that.
but overall they've not been performing at the same level.
We're a team full of creators, not scorers. That's how I see it. We create like do you see like the amount of touches in the opposition's box? That's what creators do. Like, but when we just don't have an actual like someone who's like sniffs danger. And, like,
I mean, we've got the
finishes
second.
punches.
Yeah, we've got the second highest big chances, and
Is that right?
Exactly. And
we
you're
do.
dealing with Nicholas Jackson, so
yeah, but we miss a lot.
that's even worse.
I think
can't-
it is literally just finishing. I
Yeah,
think like the
that's-
chances are there as
that's
well. And as for the left back thing, I realised like Timber is like the answer to that.
Oh, I forgot he played for us,
Julian
to be honest
Timber.
with you.
Yeah.
I forgot
Well, he hasn't
for us.
played
It's
yet.
like he never.
He played like
45 minutes.
he played like one half versus Forest, and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Gone. And Tomiyasu can play there too, and he's like, you know, if you want
I love
the
Tomiyasu.
defensive one.
I love Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
It's probably biased because I'm Asian, but Tomiyasu is unbelievable. I love him. Also, start Ramsdale again. Bring back Ramsdale.
What do you think?
Bring
Yeah.
back Ramsdale. He may be an iPad kid, but I love him. So I'll bring him back. Yeah.
I mean, so we did a Blue Podcast worst in the season so far
Worst.
at West.
Okay.
Yes, and Raya was thrown about in the conversation. I think we ended up going with the Brighton keeper. What's his
But
name?
Berrigan or Steele?
Steele.
Really?
Yeah. Because
you think
if
going Flecken?
No.
He's objectively like stats and everything.
Oh, the Brentford keeper.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
objectively
No,
the
he
worst.
was between those two,
Oh.
but it was more the fact that, like, Brighton sold Sanchez to have Steele, then brought in someone else, and Steele has absolutely stunk.
No,
me
but
off.
no, Brighton done that tactically, didn't they? Because don't they like they change keeper depending who they're playing.
Yeah, and they've
And
he's
yeah,
stunk.
that's
It's
1-0
just not
that's
worked.
1-0 to Newman,
Yeah, it's just not worked. I think he's got like he's had one clean sheet this season, and he's played.
Really?
Yeah, it was not very good. We went through all of it, but Raya was
Yeah.
in the conversation because he's not really lived up to the hype. I mean, Petrovic is better than him.
Well, it doesn't help. He can't reach the crossbar. To be fair, so it doesn't help. No. I like basic shot stopping. He's very good, and like his distribution where he passes it into midfield and stuff. I think it's very good. But Ramsdale does that plus more. Just for Ramsdale.
Yeah, but the issue is he can't stop looking at the fans.
Yeah, a bit of personality doesn't hurt anyone. A bit of personality.
Isn't it that
You can't
that
concentrate
clip
for
when
full
he's
play.
they're attacking, he keeps on looking at the fans or
He's
something.
checking his post. He needs to get his positioning right.
Someone shouted at him.
Yeah.
Also, aren't you wanting to buy Ramsdale as well now?
No.
Well, yeah, for it.
No, Petrovic has stepped up.
Oh yeah.
Petrovic has really stepped up.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a decent keeper.
That Liverpool game would have been a lot more if it wasn't for Petrovic. He made some fantastic saves.
Do you reckon he's better than Sanchez now? Or?
Yeah.
Really?
He starts with Sanchez.
Really? Oh.
He has to. He's literally not put a foot wrong. The reason we concede is because our defence is terrible right now, which is it feels so weird for a Chelsea fan to say that.
Yeah.
We used to be like, not be able to score, but it's fine, we can just defend.
Yeah.
Win by one goal, 2 goals max, like that's fine.
And you have the record, don't you? 15 goals.
15 goals.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
actually,
Terry
as an
Terry
Arsenal
Terry.
fan.
Actually, also Invincibles.
Yeah, I was
with
going to ask
15
you. So
goals
this
conceded.
is a
socials.
yeah. What is harder?
What's the harder thing to do?
Yeah.
Concede 15 goals in a single season or less, or go unbeaten.
Yeah.
I can't answer it. I could be biased and say, oh,
Yeah,
Invincibles is the one.
But we
genuinely
only
think
lost
it's
one
very
game,
hard
and
to
that was by
tell.
1 goal.
See, in the next 30 years, I don't think either will happen.
No.
So it's like in the next 100 years.
I think it's on par, personally. I think you couldn't.
They're both very difficult.
You couldn't give me. You couldn't get me
But
to
they're
choose
also
one or the other.
basically the same as well, because all it was one game. We lost one game that season. That was it. If we'd
Yeah.
not lost that game and drawn, and conceded only 15, then that would be the
Then
best
the
season
events
ever.
It was
would
only 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only 1-0.
Bolton?
Yeah, it was Man City, I think.
Or was it?
I was about to say, if it was,
I think it was-
If you lost your record to Bolton.
I think it
That's
was.
actually worse.
I think it was City back when they weren't even that good.
Oh yeah, back before like the 8-1 loss to Middlesbrough City.
Yeah.
That era was-
Yeah. So I think it was.
That's a
think it
tough
was-
one. Do you have the stats of like, we know
Should
there's
have got Henry. He's a
there's
stats merchant.
one or two teams that have been like they've only lost one game in the whole season.
Oh,
But what's the next fewest amount of goals conceded in a single season?
well, I know it's a different
many-
league, but Barcelona conceded 20 last year.
Did they?
Yeah, they only conceded 20 last year, I think.
That's incredible.
And I look at them now, barely
Yeah.
struggling because I feel like, too bad that was all to Stegen. Last
Yeah.
year that was all to Stegen.
Mm.
That's basketball.
Looking it up.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating because say like there's been some that have conceded 17, 18. Then it'd be more like maybe Invincibles is the hardest, but I think the next up will be.
I
20.
don't think it counts, but you're not actually the first
Yeah,
English
Preston-
side
yeah,
to
Preston,
go
like,
undefeated.
when Henry Yates came.
88 to
Wow, he
89
played,
season.
See that was before Queen Elizabeth was queen, so
Yeah.
no one actually cared about that.
Doesn't count.
No
Not
one
as
on
many
this
games.
earth right now is alive to see that. So like, who
Was
cares?
it like 12 games in the season or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Preston North End and Arsenal. It's not really giving me what I want to see. There we
Also,
go.
I was having this debate with my friend. Is Henri the best ever player not to win a Ballon d'Or?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
No,
I
come
haven't
on.
thought about it that much, but I would assume so.
Henri is the best player
Did
never to win a Ballon d'Or.
Eusebio, the Portuguese fella, did
I
he
don't.
win a
I don't know.
Ballon d'Or?
I think he did.
He was
didn't
meant to be different.
He was meant to be
Mm.
unbelievable. Yeah.
I watched
Um,
those little shows. You know, football's greatest. You
Oh,
seen that
yeah,
on Sky
yeah,
Sports? Yeah. There's little documentaries. They're
Oh,
great.
Premier League years as well back in the day.
I like Tifo personally.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
Tifo's class, to be fair.
Yeah. United only lost 3 in 98, 99, and 99-00.
Three
So
games.
two years in a row, they only lost 3 games in both.
It's not so
Leicester only lost 3 games in 2015-16.
We done it
bad.
twice.
Yeah, it was 2
We-
against Arsenal.
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Man City 2017-18 only lost 2
That's
games.
the Centurion season.
Wow. Yeah.
Chelsea only lost 1 game in 2004-05,
Jesus scored the goal to make them Centurions as well.
and Liverpool only lost 1 game in 2018-19,
1 game. Wow.
and then Arsenal obviously 2003-04. And
So-
then,
so-
and then
yeah.
but it's amazing that actually you did that in 3-4, and then we did the 15 and 4-5.
Yeah. What an era.
But yeah, that era just Man United, Chelsea, and Arsenal just.
Yeah.
That's proper British heritage. That.
Oh.
Proper Premier League.
Big
It was Nicholas Anelka for Man City that
Nicholas Anelka?
That's
as
why I
well?
felt Bolton.
mm,
Because he played for them.
that actually got the 1-0.
Wait, Anelka played for Man. He's played everywhere, hasn't he?
He's a
Chelsea-
journeyman. He's
Chelsea,
a journeyman.
Arsenal, Bolton, Liverpool.
Have you seen the documentary?
No, what of Anelka?
Yeah.
He has a
It's quite good.
documentary?
It's quite good.
Not even heard of
Yeah,
him.
it's I think it was on Netflix,
All right.
or it was one of those streaming platforms.
God,
And it was quite good.
Netflix will take anything nowadays.
He used to fall out with the French team and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a
Incredible
lot. There's a lot of history with him. Really, really interesting because I don't know. There was some points where actually he might have just been being used as a scapegoat. But then there's other points where I'm going, you sure it was someone else's fault there? Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
he's, I heard like Ian Wright talking about him coming through. He was seen as like the bigger talent than even guys like Henry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and I think it was an attitude issue more than
makes sense.
because I mean when he played, unbelievable player,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean even for Arsenal and Chelsea, I think that's Man City as well. He was.
I don't think I'm old enough to see him play properly in his prime.
He won a Golden Boot with Chelsea. No,
Yep.
When was that? 2010 or something.
Something like that, yeah. But the thing is though, you know, you were talking about. Okay, let's get back to freestyles and stuff, and relating
I'm
that.
happy either way, me.
But this is still related to football. Obviously, you were saying that kind of the physical attributes of players are probably getting better. Their striking and their passing is probably getting better. It actually probably does correlate because I feel like the amount of goals to win the Golden Boot is actually going up. Because you look at the amount of goals that, let's say, someone who came second in the Golden Boot 2 seasons ago, and then who actually won the Golden Boot 12 seasons ago. It's definitely more. Definitely more. And do you think that's to do with flair or I don't know? I'm just intrigued with what you think
No,
about.
I wouldn't say so, but the correlation might be the fact that the team that wins the league now is like 90 plus points.
Yeah.
90 plus, nearly 100 points. That never used to happen.
So
maybe the title winners would be like 83, 84 points or something, and now it's like in the 90s.
Fight, yeah.
So maybe the golf in class is more so, and therefore the strikers at those top teams are able to score more goals. But just an idea. I have no idea.
Just intrigued to see what you said. I'm trying to think what else there was. I wanted to ask you. I literally just had a question in my head. You got anything else, Heli?
No, it's just more the thing like, do you reckon like because of the golfing class and like it's just more demand. It's just more demand on the players and like they're not allowed to express themselves. Like I'm not allowed to mention what I'm doing in next month. But anyway, I'm doing one of my assignments for uni is about what I've tried to make it about is like how comes Brazil is like not like the Brazilian league and football there is like more of a dying thing now, and like how comes like I know it's because of money and like, opportunity obviously, but I mean like why how come like Europe are not only taking all the Brazilian players but like they're making them so they're not like they're pretty much fake Brazilians now like Anthony. But,
Okay.
Arsene Wenger had a little theory. He was interviewed. He was talking about his job role in FIFA. It's something to do with like kind of equalising and giving opportunities to people across the world. And like South America being a poorer country, Brazil or the South American countries being less financially suited to all the opportunities that you can get. Wenger was saying that in Europe, say you're playing in Germany, Austria, wherever, you have a much better opportunity of becoming a professional footballer because the opportunities are there. You can join clubs, better facilities, so on. And you can kind of see it whenever you watch the Euros. It's a stand up above the rest in terms of the international competitions. And there's a theory that maybe Brazil's full of flair and stuff, but physically and do they have the best opportunities, the best materials and stuff? I'm not so sure.
The guys who come over from Brazil are normally quite skinny as well, aren't they? That's what I mean. I think. Like, do you know what? Well, obviously, sports washing aside, like the stuff China and Saudi have been doing, just purely in terms of building a league and like all the stars going there. I don't mind it. I don't mind the Saudi league being a big league because this is what Europe's done. This Europe's done what they did. So I wish like that investment will go towards like the South America teams because I feel like that is because I watched the Copa Libertadores final, Boca Juniors versus Fluminense. And honestly, that's in my end of year awards. That was the best match of the year, in my opinion. It was only a 2-1 game, but best match of the year. It was so entertaining because it was pure passion and pure football. That's literally all it was. And honestly, I think if the South Americans got the backing, I think they deserve, then I think that's when the flair and like the skills will come back to football. Yeah. But
until then, just check out your socials, I guess, to see some skills.
He wants some skills,
Do you want to give a little shout out to your socials just so someone can make sure they find you?
Yeah, so it's at SamMadden96. That's on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, I'm on Facebook, YouTube. Just search my name, Sam Madden. And if you want to do some football quizzes, if you're a proper nerd for it, I do a page called Ballways.
Okay.
I think it's Ballways YT on for YouTube, Ballways YT on Instagram, Ballways YT on TikTok, and it's on YouTube as well. YouTube Shorts. We love it.
make sure to check that out, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. The time's actually flown by,
Absolutely,
so loving it. And so thank you very much, guys, for watching. Check out all of our socials, link down below. Check out Sam, and we'll see you next week for another Purple Show. Not Purple Show, Blue Podcast. I almost bottled it at the end. Thank you, guys.
Very fun. Thank you.